12 minutes, 10 seconds. Michigan still holds a 4-0 lead. Scrum for the ball is still being decided. Parent centering pass to Confera. That was a little off the mark. Confera was a little too close. Otherwise, that could have been a one-timer. And we're going to have a delayed penalty on Michigan. So a power play coming up for the Selects. Our first power play of the contest, and the penalty is against Kevin Confera. It's his second penalty of the game. The first one was a coincidental minor, so there was no man advantage in that situation. Tristan Parent was able to put the ball in the net in that circumstance. This time, Minnesota will get a power play opportunity. Dangerous driving is the call. And as Tim Coleman noted earlier, you have to be mindful because these are wheelchairs and they can do a lot of damage if you don't treat them properly. Over a minute has elapsed in the power play and just a lot of center action. Now we may have an offside call. I thought for a moment we would have a penalty against the Minnesota Selects team, but instead it was an offside call, so nothing to worry about there. But that doesn't help them too much because they have to run a face-off in their own zone. 48 seconds left in the power play. Crom saw a defender closing in, so he launched it from center floor. Couldn't come up with it, but he has the ball again. Loses control, tries a backhand, and that was stopped. Marty Whitberg gets a clear out, and that should kill off the power play. Michigan returns to full strength. 9:15 left in the second period. And Kevin Confera, wasting no time, takes a shot from deep. That bounces out of play. We will have a face-off at the Minnesota zone. Ball skirted just under the net, and it was stopped by the Minnesota Selects goalie, Marty Braun. Ball goes out of play again with 8:41 left. After a frenetic first period, the second period a little more calm. Want to remind you that if you are watching this contest on Ustream, you of course leave us a comment on the Ustream feed. We have been reading some of those comments on the air throughout the tournament, and you can also hit me up on Twitter at The Sports Brain. All one word, The Sports Brain. Confera getting another odd man rush. Michigan has found no way to halt his progress. Deep shot from Cram, and that goes wide left. Cram with another one. One-timer sails out of play. Face-off won by the Selects. To their own zone. More play at roughly near the center line. Now Cram goes behind the Minnesota net, and the ball goes out of play. So we'll have a face-off at the Minnesota zone. Cram and Confera, the two usual suspects, will do the honors once more. Face-off won by Michigan, and then Confera bats it out of play, so we'll have another face-off at the same spot. Wickberg races to the Michigan zone to get the ball before Minnesota can formulate an attack. Stoppage in play with 6:40 left as the ball went out of play again. Face off at center rink. Won by the Selects. But Wickberg was looking to take it away, and he does, but he can't get the centering pass in to Kevin Confera. Confera using his stick handling to avoid a couple of checks coming his way. Ball goes high, and now Cram acquires possession. Can't get around the screens, though, and Confera giving him fits defensively. Cram goes left now, trying to hang on to the ball, and he's going to be trapped by Josh Cuter.
As I was busy here, Mike, we do have another thing from Wayne Bear. Selects need to play as a team, not one person passing will win the game.
Wraparound shot from Wickberg. skids left, and going off that observation, Mike, Chris Crom getting a lot of touches, but you don't see too many other players on the Minnesota Selects team getting involved on offensive plays. Minnesota Selects win the face-off. And a stoppage in play as the ball was wedged between Confera and Crom. Face-off will go back to the Minnesota zone. Confera getting the pass off to Whitberg. Although not for long, Whitberg loses control of the ball. He maintains it, takes a shot, and nothing doing. Confera. And another stoppage in play with 4 minutes and a second left in the second period. Ball rolls to the Michigan zone, and they'll set up for Olivas. Olivas has not needed to employ his services frequently in the second period. Just a great job by the Michigan offense of staying in the attack zone. Kevin Confera with his 4th goal of the game. Continuing to fire the wrist shots from deep. Right-handed shot goes in. And the forehand score gives the Michigan Mustangs a 5-0 lead.
Scoring for the Mustangs, number 23, Kevin Confera, unassisted.
Unassisted, Kevin Confera scored 3 goals in the first 3 minutes and 20 seconds. He picks up his 4th here. And simply getting him by the result of staying aggressive, taking shots whenever he sees an opening. And that's a fairly effective way of containing him. Crom, he takes a slap shot, and that goes out of play. Confera winning the faceoff. He's got room if he can handle it. He does. Fires. Save by Marty Braun. Whitberg on the wraparound. That's also stopped by Braun. Confera trying to reach in there, and Cram bats it away. Just over 2 minutes now remain in the second period, and Michigan with a commanding 5-0 lead, showing no signs of relinquishing their advantage in the 5th place game, the consolation bracket. And a collision between Confera and number 20, Luke Peterson. That's going to be a penalty on Luke Peterson. Michigan goes on the power play, their first of the game. You may have heard a gasp from the fans when you heard the crash between Peterson and Confera. And we're going to have another coincidental minor assessed to Confera. That will be his third penalty of the game. Peterson will also be tagged. So 1:37 left. Confera will not return to the floor until the third period. The last time offsetting minors were called, it gave an opportunity for Tristan Parent to score. We'll see what happens here. Double minor against Confera and Luke Peterson.
Number 23, Confera for Michigan, and number 20, Pedersen for Minnesota, roughing.
Roughing was the call on the penalty. Parent, he's back there with number 22, Jacob Ritter. 45 seconds and counting in the second period. Michigan in absolute control from the start. Crom tried the deke and got nothing out of it. Parent steals it and try to get the pass into Clay Martin, but making the stop on defense. We're going to have another penalty on Chris Crom as he rammed Tristan Parent's chair.
Getting a little frustrated there for Cram. This is probably their last game. This is their last game.
Well, this is their last game.
Yeah.
This is it. Both teams are done after this.
Kind of a disappointing showing for the Selects. They are young. Well, actually, it's not Cram going in.
They're not going to call Cram. I thought they would, but there was a bump. And instead, it's going to be Lucas Braun, who had an outstanding effort in this morning's quarterfinal round, scoring a hat trick in the 6-2 win over Carolina. So, 21 seconds left. Michigan will be in the power play, which will carry over to the third period, unless they score before we wrap up here. Interference is the call. I thought it was going to go against Cram, and I think a few other folks did too when they heard the sound when two chairs make contact. But it was Lucas Braun instead. So the second period comes to a close.
That's the end of the second period.
Michigan will start the third on a power play, and there is still 22 seconds left in the offsetting minor between Luke Peterson and Kevin Confera. Mustangs lead the Selects 5-0. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. This is Power Hockey Cup 2014 on Ustream. Greetings once again from the legendary Roy Wilkins Auditorium in St. Paul, Minnesota. Mike Beaton here, and we have the third period coming up in Power Hockey Cup 2014, our fifth place match between the Michigan Mustangs and Minnesota Selects. And at this point, it appears the Mustangs will take the fifth place position at this event. They hold a 5-0 lead, as you can see on the screen. Much more quiet second period. Kevin Confara does score one goal in that frame. He scored 3 in the first. He has a total of 4 goals, and as we said, the third highest score in the tournament. Chris Crom was also on the leaderboard in goals scored, and both Crom and Confera also in the leaderboard in points scored. And for Confera, it's quite impressive because all of his points have come from goals. He has yet to record an assist. He will be able to return to the floor at the next stoppage in play. He served a coincidental minor for roughing with Luke Peterson. Michigan on a power play right now due to a penalty against Lucas Braun. And Tristan Parent is stopped by Jacob Ritter. One minute and 4 seconds remain in the power play. like to remind you, we will be here for the third place game and the championship right here on Ustream. You can send us your comments on the Ustream feed. You can also hit me up on Twitter at @TheSportsBrain. An all-Canadian game for the Bronze, Calgary and Ottawa, and an all-American final, the Minnesota Saints and Philadelphia Power Play. Another penalty is called against Minnesota. So for the next 51 seconds, unless we have an offsetting minor, which I don't see.
2 minutes and 51 seconds there, Mike.
Well, for the next 51 seconds, I should say, it will be a two-man advantage, or it should be. Unless
because there's 2 people in the box for the selects.
I noticed that, and there are 3 on the floor. That's not right. Save by Levis, and he freezes the ball. So you're right, there's 2 minutes and 11 seconds left where there's a power play situation. Confera is back out on the floor, if you hadn't seen already. This is quite interesting. I thought they haven't announced the penalty either. You're right, there are 2 players in the box.
Yeah, it does not look like I think they're going to get it right here. Because there's 5 players out for the Mustangs. Yep, they did need to take somebody else off.
So we're going to have another penalty for too many men assessed to Minnesota Selects.
They really need to get it going. I don't know.
Well, so here's how this is going to work out. Effectively, for the next 2 minutes and 11 seconds, I would presume, it's going to be a 2-man advantage for the Michigan Mustangs. We'll get this sorted out in a moment. But there was a penalty charged to number 21, Allison May, and she went off as instructed. But Minnesota Selects had 3 players on the floor when there should have been 2.
And Craig McClellan, rookie coach for this team, that's something he's got to definitely be aware of.
That's something you would presume as he continues and gets more experience he'll pick up on, because it's just like standard hockey. There was 2 penalties assessed to the Minnesota Selects, and play continued with 3 players on the floor when there should have been 2. So there are 3 penalties here. There's still the penalty Lucas Braun served late in the second. That one is almost finished. He has 31 seconds left. There was another penalty on Allison May. That was not announced on the call. And now Luke Peterson, I believe, also in the box, as the Minnesota Selects get an explanation of the ruling from the officials. And Tim Coleman, who is running the penalty box in this match, he will be on hand to officiate the upcoming matches, and could not offer his prediction as a result. So with this stoppage in play, let's take a look at our sponsors and give them their acknowledgement they deserve for their support of this tournament. Our sponsors include, we'll see if we can get that up on screen.
Wayne Bayer says Craig knows. He just tried to get away with it. Maybe so, Wayne. And still, that's just...
Well, when the broadcasters catch the mistake, it's not going to take long before the others do. Well, now they're going to reset the clock. So they're going to call this an officiating
I agree with you,
miscue.
Wayne. But, yeah, he definitely that's a big mistake here. And they're already down 5-0, and that's not a good thing for
Well, they're resetting the clock back to 14 minutes and 12 seconds. So what's going to happen here? Because they did assess a penalty to Peterson, and if he still has to serve that, well, for the next 2:51, Michigan goes on a two-man advantage. No, Peterson will be allowed to return to the floor.
JB Hockey 2014, it says Minnesota is just shooting themselves in the foot with all these penalties. And I agree. And
it's certainly not helping, but they haven't demonstrated any sign of a comeback here, so this may be inconsequential.
Well, this is worse for them because they have, that's 1.2, and they have shown no fluidity on offense there, Mike.
And now we have utter confusion here at the legendary Roy Wilkins Auditorium. If you just joined us, a bizarre sequence just unfolded. A penalty on Allison May was called. The ruling was not announced. Play continued. And then it wasn't notified to anyone, and I believe the officials are going to take responsibility for this. It was not notified to anyone that play was going on with Minnesota having too many men on the floor. So
That's
May
not
will
good, yeah.
May will serve, I think, the too many men penalty.
That's not good. She is one of their top defenders too. So.
And for the next 30 seconds, Michigan will have a two-man advantage.
Yes, they do need defense. That is correct, Jackie.
Yes, they need defense. If anything, they can't let...
Well, Kevin Confera has just throttled the defense throughout with his deep shots. It would be a bigger loss if Minnesota's defense was more sound, but it just hasn't been there today. But they're going to kill off at least one of the power plays here as the ball is trapped near the center line, and that's just going to eat up time as Crom and Confera continue their tussle. So now it's a man advantage for the Mustangs and an offside call.
They really do now is the time they really do need to start taking advantage of some shots. Get some type of shots on the goalie. Pepper the goalie.
Well,
Olivas is a very strong goalie. He's not going to let anything cheap in.
The problem is Minnesota just can't get too many attacks off. They've had a couple of shots, but nothing of true stature. 55 seconds left in power play, and
dare I say this might be the Select's worst game of the tournament, playing-wise.
Well, they were absolutely all over Carolina just a couple of hours ago. Different story now. And if you're wondering if this is Minnesota's worst game of this tournament, they are under siege, and if they don't score, this would be their first and only game, naturally. This is the final day. only game of the tournament where they failed to score. So offensively, this is currently on pace to be the worst game of the tournament for the Minnesota Selects. They do kill off both power plays without giving up any goals, so we'll see if that generates a burst of energy. But the problem for the Minnesota Selects, they're just not able to go after Olivas or pretty much make any serious run in the attack zone. Michigan has swarmed them defensively. Nice stick check, and then Crum with a stick check back. That stops a potential odd man rush for Cuter.
Oh, great opportunity missed by Cram.
And Crum with just no space to work with. He's had a couple of shots, but not too many on goal. Centering pass broken up by Zerkovic. And another centering pass intended for the Selects. Number 33, Nathan Ritter, was off the mark. Confera has it. All alone, just has to beat the defender. He does, fires, and goes wide left. He had a wide open lane to work with and couldn't put it in.
Should have brought it in just a tiny bit deeper. Not much, but just a tiny bit more.
As he had the defender cleared, so he had plenty of space to work with. Took another shot that went wide right, but Confera putting on one last dazzle in the final day of the tournament.
Lucas Braun fanning on the shot. Luke's fanning on it and not very happy with himself for fanning on it.
Here's Confera again on another odd man rush. Gets through one deke, a double deke, a triple deke, and his 5th goal of the game. Pulling a little Mighty Ducks trick out of his playbook.
Yes, he did. He 1, 2, 3 triple deke.
The 5th goal of the game for Kevin Confera.
As we see here on the replay. Boom. He was tricky and went short side.
Too elusive for the Minnesota Selects to find him. Entering today, he had 11 goals. And factoring his total today, he scored a hat trick in the victory over Toronto. Kevin Confera has 8 goals, and he's looking for another. Gets the pass, it's onside, but Parent can't reach it, gets the rebound, finds Confera again. He dekes it, and it rolls off. The puck's still live. Trying to bat it in was Clay Martin, and he could not do so. Swatting it away is Lucas Braun. But Michigan, they're not settling for 6 goals. They want more. Kevin Confera with 8 goals today. That brings his total to 19. And if the results were to stand, that would move him into 2nd place on the all-tournament list. He is still 3rd in points. And he would need a few more to catch Chad Wilson for 2nd in that mark. But Kevin Confera is going to offer a great foundation at 21 years of age. He gets another shot. This time making the save is number 22, Jacob Ritter, who is in the place of Marty Braun. 8 minutes and 8 seconds left in regulation. The Michigan Mustangs will win 5th place at Power Hockey Cup 2014. Kevin Conferra from Dearborn Heights, Michigan, 21 years of age, and I have to imagine he will be a very reliable anchor 2 years from now when we host the next Power Hockey Cup in Philadelphia. And the greatest asset to Conferra's game is his deep shooting. Not always accurate, but when you shoot from deep, it's tough to get the angles to fall. As we get a look at our lights. And now we get a look at Olivas guarding his position. Conferra wins it. He's on another breakaway. Here he comes. Gets another shot and a hand save by Ritter. Rebound goes off the mark. Conferra still looking for more. 7:20 left. Conferra dumps it, looking for his target. Found Martin to headman it. Martin just has to take a shot to avoid a converging defense. That goes behind the net. Tristan Parent scored 1 goal in the first period when Conferra was out due to a penalty.
actually correcting now. Championship games.
5:25 remaining, and play has settled down here, mainly contained away from the net. Conferra getting a deflection, but he's not going to get there in time, and he backs off. As the Minnesota Selects are now sending in some new players to get their chance at participating in the Power Hockey Cup, with this being the final day. Lucas Braun had a hat trick, but not able to find an offensive rhythm today in this contest. He had a hat trick in the 6-2 win over Carolina this morning to win his way into a final game. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. And Michigan making a substitution, so is the Minnesota Selects, as number 16 will head to the bench. That is Braxton Weebush, and coming on the floor is Jason Zylstra. Conferra was looking for another breakaway, instead has to fire from deep, and that will be redirected by the Minnesota defense. Pass goes out of play. We'll have a face-off at the Minnesota Select zone. Four minutes, 30 seconds left. Crom with another deep attempt, and that goes right behind the net, picked up by Tristan Parent. He's got a run. Shot saved by number 22, Jacob Ritter. Rebound goes back to Michigan. Not able to establish much with it. Zurkovic will take a look, and the wrist shot slugs wide right. Crom through the center, where he runs into a double team, but he does get the pass off to Zylstra, and Minnesota will make a change on defense. And getting in there in time to stop a potential Michigan attack is Danny Sedgman, a level 3 competitor. 3 minutes to go, and Mike, it appears the Minnesota Selects have conceded the result based on their substitutions. How do you handle a situation like this where your final game of the tournament is a whopping?
As a player, when we get blown out, it's not a good feeling, and especially at a big tournament like this. But it's good to get these young players in and get them some experience. It's kind of disheartening for such a legendary player like Chris Cram to kind of go out this way. And I mean, he came back out of retirement to help the Selects, and it's just tough, and nobody wants to finish a career if he is going to truly finish his career here in Minnesota like this. But they do have a win under their belt. They're young. They just need a little bit more practice, and once they get things going, they're going to be a nice, formidable team. They just got to find that extra player in the next coming years to probably replace Cram. And I believe the Ritter boys, once they get some more experience, they're going to be able to do that.
Minutes ticking away here. And how about Kevin Conferra coming back for one last burst, scoring 5 goals in this game, 8 goals today, and that will bring his total up to 19. Could finish second on that list, depending on what Jake Saxton does tonight. Offside called on Michigan. What would you say about Kevin Conferra and his performance today?
His performance was great. He's really turned it on this game. Really wanted to come out and show that he wanted to win this game. It's 5th place, but they're playing like it's a first place game. They really came out on fire today. Olivas might, I don't know, I'm not going to jinx it, but he could come out with a shutout here. And he's rocking the red mohawk there. And he's had a hat on most games this tournament.
Parent gets the pass off to Martin, but Martin not able to get himself established in time for a clean shot. Less than a minute to go. Pretty much academic at this point.
45 seconds.
Our coverage far from over, though. We have a 3rd place game and a championship game awaiting us. The 3rd place game will take place at 5 p.m. The championship at 7 p.m. Between those games, we will have an award ceremony to recognize the tournament competitors. Michigan will finish in 5th place. The Minnesota Selects will settle for 6th. And all-out dominance from start to finish. The final seconds tick away. The Michigan Mustangs, with a 6-0 win, will take 5th place at PowerHockeyCup 2014. Kevin Conferra will finish this tournament with 19 goals. That will be the second highest total in that category, and he will finish 3rd most likely in points accumulated. Michigan has a bright future with the 21-year-old Kevin Confarra.
As they shake hands there, Mike, and we're going to get ready for the next set of the games here.
Coming up, 5 p.m., our third place game featuring the Ottawa Capitals.
Ottawa and Calgary are coming your way in about 40 minutes. Kevin Confarra, your player of the game here. We'll see if we can get a word with him during the intermission. But stay tuned as we continue our coverage of Power Hockey Cup 2014 here at the legendary Roy Wilkins Auditorium in St. Paul, right here on Ustream.
I'll take Marcus.
Yes.
Craig and Perrin
Michigan.
What?
Is that Michigan?
Yes.
Because I need an earpiece. What was that? They're both on their team meeting.
You got plenty of time.
We've got plenty of time to send them over when they're done.
Okay, yeah.
Might see another version on there. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. I have breakfast. I asked Craig too that if it was MP4 or WMV, he didn't really know. So. Okay, you're welcome.
Coach Steve Nelson, you're wanted on the floor. Coach Nelson, you're wanted on the floor for team photo.
Mustang is.
He has two things he's got to do, and then he'll try to come over. Okay. What's that?
Alright. I think we're going to try to get Kevin over here. Can you come up a little bit? Because, yeah, right there. I mean, actually, I'm going to go change chairs. Well, we're is Kevin gonna? If Kevin's gonna come, okay. I guess we'll talk to you now. So I'll pull up.
All right. Okay, you're on.
Mike Beaton here with Tristan Parent, and Tristan, you had one goal today, but a pretty convincing finish after a strong start. So how would you assess your performance today?
I think I did good, and our whole team did very well. We played as a team, and we should have played this way the entire tournament, but we're all trying to adjust getting to play together, and we improved the entire tournament, and you can see it that this game, we really got it down.
And you had a lot of close games that didn't go your way, and today you came out on the winning end and put in your most dominating effort of this event. I know it was for 5th place, but how does that leave you feeling as you wrap up Power Hockey Cup 2014?
Well, that's not where we wanted to finish, but you know, we didn't give up the entire tournament, and that's what we said. Don't leave anything on the floor, give it your all, and this was the result.
How about Kevin Confera getting 3 goals? As he walked in right behind you, we planned all of this, scoring 3 goals in 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
Well, Kevin, he's Kevin, so he's the best, and yeah, greatest teammate, I think, and he does everything, and I'm glad to be able to play with him all the time.
All right, I'm going to sneak on over here. And Well, you stay here, Tristan. We'll get to you in a moment. Kevin, as we were just talking about, you had a hat trick in 3 minutes and 21 seconds. 8 goals in your 2 games today, and you finish with the, well, right now, second in goals scored. Jake Saxton could come up in the next game. Either way, 19 goals. That's a lot of balls in the net for this tournament.
You know, I got a lot of good quality shots off this tournament, and my teammates set me up. And you know, it's all about practicing my shooting, and yeah, it all worked out in the end with the goal scoring. So.
You were relentless today on offense. Even if you weren't scoring, you were getting all the deep shots off, breakaways, odd man rushes. How were we able to find so many lanes on offense?
Well, they gave me a good opening today, and Cram kind of backed off a little bit. I knew he's got that long reach, so I had to get around him, and I had a lot of good spacing today, and Tristan got a good goal today, and we stepped up tonight.
What's your favorite moment of the Power Hockey Cup 2014 now that your tournament run has ended?
It's just being with the guys, you know. I mean, the outcome didn't, you know, play out that we wanted it to be in, but we came out in 5th place, and I'm just happy to be here right now.
And what are your thoughts of St. Paul throughout this week?
It's a beautiful city. There's a lot to do here, and I'm glad they hosted it this year.
What about you, Tristan? What do you have to say about St. Paul?
It's a very beautiful city. There's a lot of stuff around, and it's very nice walking around, and it was just enjoyable to be here for the week.
And Kevin, I'll start with you. Anyone you want to say hi to that is watching this broadcast on Ustream?
I just want to say hi to my friends and my mom.
What about you, Tristan?
I have friends and family watching, mostly my grandparents. They're big supporters of our hockey league, so hi there.
All right. That's Tristan Parent and Kevin Confara. Congratulations on getting your 5th place finish. Hopefully in 2 years at Philadelphia, your run will be a little more successful, but a strong ending. At least you were able to get a couple of wins. You couldn't say that yesterday, so it's a step forward, and hope you enjoy the last 2 games. And before we go, I want to ask, want to get your prediction. Who wins the championship tonight?
I think it's a no-brainer. I think Philly's got this in the bag.
I'm going to have to agree with Kevin there.
So a lot of prognostication going in Philadelphia's direction. We'll see if that pans out later tonight. Thank you for stopping by, Tristan Parent and Kevin Confara of Michigan. In about 20 minutes, Ottawa and Calgary will tip off. Stick around. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whoop, lost my phone.
I believe so, or